3 months into dating Lucien, when he still hadn't shown any sign of dumping me, his friends teased him. Was he actually getting serious? Lucien was sprawled on the couch, lids half lowered, not even bothering to look up. Just messing around, he said. Zero hesitation. I tossed the birthday gift I brought for him and walked out. Later, Lucien chased me from Riverdale to Eastbrook, Eastbrook to London, London to LA, and finally, when I flew home at 30, he proposed, surrounded by thousands of roses and a wall of camera flashes. I smiled and pushed the ring away. Just messing around. Why'd you go and get serious? 3 months in, Lucien decided to introduce me to his friends at his birthday dinner. I was late because I'd gone to pick up his present. My fingers curled around the door handle when I heard him talking inside. You actually invited her. You never let girls crash your birthday. How are we supposed to party now? She's my girlfriend. Why wouldn't she come? Lucien's voice carried zero emotion, like he was stating the weather. He paused, then added a loophole for breaking his own rule. I'll just make up an excuse and send her off early. You've already had 3 months. Shouldn't you be bored? If you haven't dumped her, are you actually hooked? Lucien said nothing. A weird silence. Then commotion, chairs scraping, shocked laughter. Holy shit. Serena, the stuck-up grind. What's so fun about her that you're actually into this? Thought she was one of those ice queen types you only admire from afar. Does she turn wild in bed for you? River, maybe she's all prim in public and a total freak once the lights go off. The comments got filthier by the second. If I'd known she was that easy, I'd have gone after her myself. Didn't need Lucien to do the groundwork. Yeah. Imagine dragging the high and mighty princess down to moan under you. Must feel like conquering Everest. Hey, River, once you're done, pass her to the rest of us. Yeah. Through it all, Lucien stayed mute, letting them degrade me. My stomach turned. I clenched the gift box so hard the cardboard buckled and my nails carved crescents into my palms. He'd been the one chasing me for a year, yet in their mouths I was the desperate climber clinging to the Caldwell air. Shut your damn mouth. Finally, Lucien barked. A second later, some guy yelped, probably clocked for the worst remark. Quiet crashed over the VIP lounge. A peacemaker laughed it off. Watch your filthy tongue. Man, that's River's girl. The guy apologized. Then, to revive the mood and feed their curiosity, someone quipped, so, River, you serious about Serena finally falling for real? Lucien was back to looking bored. Elbow on the sofa arm. Just messing around. Doesn't count. Another buddy agreed. True. Chicks are all the same. Flowers. Gifts. Boom. They're yours. Serena just took a little longer. That's all. The day I'd agreed to date him, my roommate had sighed, landing Lucien. Girl, you saved a galaxy in your past life. To outsiders, Caldwell's crown prince resembled some mythic prize. Pedigree, face, effortless worship. For a year he treated me with textbook courtesy. I'd honestly thought he was decent if friend material. Lab bench neighbor, someone worth respecting. Turned out I'd merely been premium entertainment when he was bored. But am I, Serena, so cheap that he can toy with my feelings and let his wolves trash me? Falling for someone takes time. Falling out takes a second. Asking why felt pointless. I let go of the handle, shoved the present at a passing server, and left without looking back. I came out of the lab at 11 that night, mind busy replaying data, and didn't notice Lucien until he blocked the dorm path. I walked straight into him. He steadied me with a low chuckle. I stepped back, freeing my arm, then met his eyes. Something you need? Hands in his pockets. He smiled as if we were still sweethearts. Where's my birthday gift? I pictured the box I trashed, hours of thought tossed like garbage. No one enjoys seeing sincerity ridiculed, especially not by a guy who thinks he's holding all the cards. I wouldn't admit I'd cared, wouldn't beg, wouldn't hand him the satisfaction. Casual shrug. Too cheap. Wasn't worth giving. He stretched his hand closer, bending so we were eye level. I'm shameless. I'll take it anyway. Pay up, girlfriend. His breath brushed my cheek. My reflection floated in his dark pupils. I looked away, lost it. He sidestepped, blocking me again, and tapped my face. Skipped my party, ignored my texts, lost my present. Do you still remember I'm your boyfriend? If I hadn't heard his real opinion, maybe I'd have hugged him like any girl dizzy in love. But the mask was off. Closeness only churned disgust. Curfew. I'm going in. He finally sensed the chill wasn't a tantrum. Mad because I didn't text all day. Admit it. You missed me. Couldn't eat. Couldn't focus. Kept thinking of me. Right? Still performing. Still lying. Knowing full well emotions aren't toys. I shook my head and stepped onto the stairs so we stood level. Opposite. Everything ran smoother without you. His smirk froze. Cracked. Vanished. Then we're done. 3 months proved you're nothing special. Harsh words didn't give me the catharsis I'd expected. But they hit him hard. A player who always walked away first. Dumped mid-game while still hooked. unprecedented. His face darkened. You serious? I nodded. He uncurled his fists only to shove them in his pockets. Jaw clenched. Fine. I'm nothing special. Great, Serena. Just great. For a second I thought he'd lash out. Instead, he spun around and stalked off. I buried the last flutter of heartache and poured every waking minute into courses and the Titan. Love may betray. Knowledge and skill don't. After 2 weeks of silence, rumors swirled. One of his admirers cornered me. So it's true, you broke up. If so, I'm making my move. When I confirmed, she sniffed. Thought he really liked you. Guess 3 months is the expiry. My fingers froze over the keyboard. Even random bystanders viewed us as a fling, only I'd been blind. Hope you last longer than 3 months, I said, and resumed typing. News traveled. Lucien's fan club reactivated, and I collected the label, 3-month throwaway. Saturday was my roommate Ava's birthday. We booked a restaurant for lunch, then a karaoke lounge that afternoon. The elevator opened on the KTV floor. While Ava checked the room list, I felt eyes on me, Lucien, leaning against a wall. Riverdale's nightlife is tiny. Sightings were inevitable. I looked away, but before I reached our door he caught my wrist. Talk. Once my friends disappeared inside, he pulled me into an empty room across the hall. I heard you've been telling people you dumped me. I yanked free. Useless. Protecting your rep. Imagine the scandal if everyone learned River got ditched. His free hand rose to pinch my cheek. I tilted, so he switched to my waist. Hesitant. Then his right arm tightened, chin settling on my shoulder. Tell me why. No grand reason. I'm bored. Heat and a sharp sting bloomed on my neck. He'd bitten me. Bored? He rasped. We've still got a bucket list. How can you be bored? I tried to shove his head away. He only sucked harder. Lucien. I'm listening, he murmured, kisses sliding to my collarbone. We're over. This is harassment. Never agreed to break up. So we're not. He trapped me closer, thumb grazing my lips. Your mouth's too stubborn. I'll kiss you until you take it back. He tilted my chin and covered my lips. I bit him. Oxygen vanished. I stomped his foot with all my weight. He hissed but simply lifted me, carried me to the couch, and kept kissing. 3 paid hours evaporated. I never touched the mic. I zipped my hoodie to the neck. He shoved bruised hands in his pockets. Though I repeated we were finished, Lucien behaved like the fight never happened. He still waited outside lectures, brought coffee, studied in my library corral. One of his hopefuls accosted me. You lied. You two aren't over. I kept walking. Ask him, not me. I didn't even get a word out before Lucien materialized. Whether we break up or not is none of your business. Do we need to file an application with you? Send you a report? When I left the science building with a senior from our lab, she fished for gossip too. So when did you and Lucien get back together? Lucien was already waiting outside. He slid my bag off my shoulder like he'd done it 1,000 times, clamping my hand in his. We never broke up. Nothing to get back to. Dappled light broke in his eyes, colors scattering, and those eyes burned into mine in the darkness. Only now, feeling the heat of his palm, did I finally understand what he'd meant by just messing around. It was a beginning wrapped in fog, an ending with no explanation. It was the mountain of questions between us that he simply chose not to see, because he didn't care. He was only playing, and as long as he hadn't had his fill, I had no right to walk away. Caught bad-mouthing him red-handed, the senior mumbled a quick goodbye and left us to it. Long day in the lab. Bet you're starving. Late night bite? His thumb swept lightly over my knuckles. I tried to tug free. He tightened his grip. First cafeteria's skewers. Second cafeteria's fried chicken. Or spicy crawfish at Southgate. Every last word rose in a tease. No anger at my resistance. Just the cockiness of knowing he still had me. I deflated and let him hold on. If you need to get even, I'm right here. Say every ugly word you've got and dump me. The smile on Lucien's face thinned. Then spell it out. What exactly did I do wrong? His birthday replayed in my head, me outside the VIP lounge. Every syllable I'd overheard. My mouth opened. Nothing came out. I couldn't repeat those filthy sentences. Couldn't stand the humiliation. Questioning him would only make me look cheaper. I swallowed the ache and offered a dodge. You've heard the statistic. Most couples regret getting together by day 2. The corner of Lucien's mouth froze. He stared, hunting for the lie in my expression. He found none. Fury crept into his brows. He gave a soft, icy laugh. Do you hear yourself, Serena? Regret. So you're saying you regretted us on day 2? Then what the hell were these past 3 months? I forced down the sourness in my throat and met his glare, tossing on more fuel. At least I stuck it out for 3 whole months. So I should thank you for humoring me for 90 days instead of ditching me on day 1? Is that it? His voice was low, trembling with restraint. He was angry, burning angry, his hand scorching around mine. I tried to wrench away and failed. The heat of his arm ignited mine. Relax, Keeping you company counts as workplace injury, but I'm generous. No invoice for you. Something in the still air seemed to detonate. Lucien stepped in, tall frame blocking the lamplight, lips curled in a half smile that wasn't a smile at all. Acting. Right. Workplace injury. Fine. You played the role brilliantly. Professor Shin, name your market rate and I'll pay tenfold. You love the stage so much. Want me to pull strings? Get you into showbiz? With talent like yours, you'd sweep every award. Each sentence brought him closer. My back hit the science building wall. Nowhere to retreat. The heat of his chest pulsed through our clothes. I turned my face away and let the cruel words fall. If you feel like compensating me for emotional damages from this 3-month farce, I won't refuse. A long time passed before I saw Lucien again. Our last ugly scene had ended with him wiring me $1 million. Thanks for the 3-month master class, Professor Shen. It's been instructive. Snarling that through his teeth, he vanished from my life for good. Back when I was young and dumb enough to dream of striking it rich, I'd pictured my first fortune coming from a lottery ticket, a startup, maybe some index funds. Never expected it to come from an undignified romance. It sat in my account like a silent slap at the innocent fool I'd been. Look, loose change slipping through their fingers is rainfall we ordinaries can't amass in a lifetime. I thought about sending it back, but I could already hear his sneer. What? I realized how rich I am and already regret dumping me? I wouldn't give him the satisfaction. I buried the mess in work. Finished all my experiments before finals. Summer came. I attended grad school summer programs. Parlayed solid lab experience into offers from several schools. In August, I started an internship far from campus. Gone at dawn. Back after dark. Plenty of other students were interning too. Office gossip said Derek from Caldwell had joined us. Had I known that Derek in question was Lucien's buddy, I'd never have agreed to drop off files for a coworker. Derek's legs were crossed on the desk, phone in hand, racing some game timer. I set the folder down. He glanced up while waiting to respawn. His eyes popped. Feet hit the floor. Serena? The voice sounded familiar, but I couldn't place it. He waved me out, and I left. After that, Derek put me on the do not enter list. Gossip flourished. Coworkers shunned me to stay on the prince's good side. Shunning itself was survivable. What killed me were botched or delayed messages that sabotaged my work. Workers shouldn't torment fellow workers. After a week, I marched to Derek's office for answers. Before I could knock, new instructions arrived. From now on I was the sole courier to his office. Inside, the first thing I saw wasn't Derek cursing at some game, but Lucien in a tailored suit, tossing a baseball up and catching it. I hadn't known he'd be there, but the door was already open, no retreat. I looked away, set the file on the desk, turned to leave. Lucien caught my arm. Derek, slippery as an eel, bolted and shut the door. That payout gone already. Chasing money during the most critical summer for your grad applications? I kept silent, trying to shake free. Short on cash. Professor Shen, keep dating me for show. 10 grand a month. How's that? Get help. I dropped the 2 words and stalked out. He'd already let go. No move to stop me. Derek hovered outside. Done already? What did you expect? Casting couch audition. He swallowed, guilt-ridden, and slunk back in. Some onlookers caught the scene. Whatever fantasy they spun, at least my work instructions came through intact after that. Summons from Derek arrived more often now. Every single time Lucien was inside. I poured tea, brewed coffee, rinsed fruit, ordered lunch, though my internship title was technical. Biggest takeaway. I learned about a power for a paycheck. Thankfully Lucien didn't show every day. During the final week HR threw a farewell dinner. Alcohol flowed. After 10 we spilled out of the restaurant and said goodbyes. I sat on a planter ledge letting the breeze sober me. 2 long fingers snapped in front of my face. Still remember how to get home? None of your business. Quit blocking my wind. Lucien poked my cheek. Even drunk you bite? Hands off. I slapped him away. That bad a rap now? He crouched, almost gentle. Tell me, when did you stop liking me? I tapped his nose. You order your pal to freeze me out. Trip me at work. Bark orders. Take a wild guess. He trapped my finger. Fair. I hid in that office hoping you wouldn't notice me watching. Instead you got ostracized. After that, I just wanted to talk. To see you, even if all you gave me was venom. Apology accepted? I shook my head. Hard pass. My finger drifted to his chest. People break up for one reason. Someone's not worth it anymore. That's all. Not worth it. He coaxed. Spell it out. Where did I fall short? Liquor loosened my tongue. Got bored. Boredom means the ROI on fixing us dropped to 0. Lucien seemed to crack. He stared forever, then exhaled pure stubbornness. I waited 2 hours for you, not to hear you roast me. He turned his back. Climb on. I'll carry you home. I could never grasp why he lowered his head. I'd hurled every ugly word and cashed his check. What in that squalid story was worth pining for? Maybe people are just perverse, take things for granted, then grovel once they're gone. When I spotted him under my dorm again, I assumed he'd found fresh prey. Long legs closed the distance in 3 strides. Hangover, feeling sick? The easy familiarity was thicker than ever. Not your concern. He ruffled my hair. Helpless. So ungrateful. Forget who tucked you in last night? Expecting payback? I slapped his hand away. Tacky. Still such a sharp little tongue. I lost patience. What do you want? Stalking is pathetic. You don't owe me, but since I delivered you safe, the least you can do is buy me dinner. I opened my phone. I'll Venmo you. Go eat. He seized my wrist and jogged toward the nearest gate. Nope. I want you to feed me yourself. Food streets ring the campus, but he hauled me into a grocery instead. The cart overflowed with raw ingredients. I had to remind him, these can't be eaten straight. So in your eyes, I'm completely useless? I shut up and watched him haul the bags into a loft across from campus. A chef was already booked. Once the feast was ready, he vanished, leaving Lucien and me alone. Lucien opened wine but poured me juice. I spoke first. Same excuse won't work twice. Let this be the last time we meet. He shrugged. If I want to see you, I don't need an excuse. Playing shameless stops being fun real fast. Then what is fun? Getting dumped out of the blue by you? I was getting annoyed. I paused. What do you actually want? You're brilliant. Can't you tell? Lucien stared straight at me. I want to see you, talk to you, eat with you, walk you across campus holding your hand, hold the umbrella over you when it rains. I cut him off. Shut up. I don't need to hear meaningless garbage. He kept going as if I hadn't spoken. I want to be with you, even if it's only an act. Even if you don't love me, I still want to stay by your side. Most people can't say, I miss you once in their lives. A confession that blunt can't leave you indifferent. But how could I know how much of it was genuine? I shut my eyes. When I opened them, only mockery was left. Really? You're pretty cheap. Then, cold hit my lips. Then pain. Lucien's kiss tasted of raw hatred. Serena, don't you dare speak. Every struggle I made he neutralized. Every curse I spat he swallowed. I'd made a mistake. Should never have stepped onto his turf and said things that would provoke him. At least Lucien doesn't hit women. The kiss lasted so long I thought I'd black out under his. He shifted us, sat me on his lap, and started spoon-feeding me bite after bite. I turned my face away. You're running low on sugar. Be good. Open up. I twisted farther from the spoon. Want me to feed you mouth to mouth? I clamped my teeth on the spoon and gulped the food down. A second spoonful followed instantly. Chew before you swallow, he reminded. When my stomach was finally full, he still didn't let go. The narrow dining chair was uncomfortable, so he carried me to the couch. The hand around my waist refused to budge. Around campus you see plenty of PhD couples and master's sweethearts sharing rentals. The housekeeper who came to clear the table had seen it all and left without a sound. Instead, I relaxed, followed my afternoon body clock, and dozed off. Dinner was still at his place. When I tried to leave, he blocked the door. If I let you walk out now, can I still see you tomorrow? I just wanted out. Your legs are yours. Go wherever you want. True, but you freeze me out and every word you say is poison. So what do you want? Stop kicking me out. Stop saying hateful things. Answer me. React to me. His hand brushed my face. His thumb grazed the corner of my mouth, hovering between craving and restraint. I cut in fast. Fine. Can I go now? Senior year would start soon. Civil service exams, grad school tests, job hunts. Everyone would be frantic. Lucien would slide straight into Caldwell, too busy to bug me. I'd already lined up an advisor. My capstone would be done in Eastbrook. No more Lucien. Satisfied, he smiled, waved his phone, and said, recorded. Keep your word. He opened the door. Come on, I'll drive you back. Sure enough, after late September I barely saw him. He showed up on weekends, scarfed 2 meals, and vanished. In November I flew to Eastbrook to start my capstone. It happened to be a Saturday. When the plane touched down his call came. You're in Eastbrook and you didn't tell me? Why should I? Serena, your tongue is still razor sharp. That night he appeared in Eastbrook, scanned my rented room, hated it, and whisked me into a bigger flat closer to campus. I refused. Lucien, I don't have time for some Cinderella savior drama. If you need an audience, hire actors. His typing paused. He looked up, surprised but calm. So you dumped me because you thought I'd block your future? I let him think it. No point explaining. When I stayed silent, he smiled to himself and kept texting. I'm not some little man who's scared his girlfriend outshines him, he boasted, lifting 3 fingers. I, Lucien, swear I'll never be the stone in Serena's academic road. His grin made me feel I was punching cotton. Anger flared. That's not what I meant. Afraid dating will eat your time? He argued. We've always dated in the margins. I never touched your schedule. That shouldn't worry you. Can't I simply not want to date you? Nope. His veto was instant. Once you said yes, you lost the right to toss me aside. He hugged me hard, voice fierce but harmless. You're stuck with me. Almost every weekend after that he materialized in Eastbrook. Before his embrace always came his scorching, devouring kiss. When we lived in the same city it didn't hit me. Now I realize missing you grows exponentially with distance, he said. Can't wait to graduate. Want to be with you every single day. I didn't see the link until grad school check-in day. Lucien strolled up with his admission letter. A tailored suit set him apart from the hoodie crowd. Came straight from a board meeting. No time to change, he explained. Let's hit your dorm first. He commandeered my suitcase. On day one my roommates thought he was my brother, until they noticed he waited in the science building cafe every night, walked me to late-night snacks, then escorted me back. Time felt like it had rewound to the birthday that changed everything, but heavier schedules said otherwise. Lucien juggled coursework and Caldwell, shuttling between Eastbrook and Riverdale. I slogged through classes, Titan sessions, and PhD applications. Weekends, once for rest, were now eaten by his meetings and my lab runs. Any free slot was for catch-up sleep. We never found a stretch to sit and talk properly. The relationship limped on, kept alive only by his pushes. Years sprinted by. While drafting my master's thesis I scored a PhD offer from a London university. Lucien called it a celebration and snapped up 2 last-minute plane tickets to London. In 1 week he mapped every Imperial College building, plotted the fastest routes between campuses, and leased the loft I'd live in for 3 years. When he dropped the keys in my palm I hesitated. Isn't this too big for one person? He tilted his head, half amused, half helpless. When will you factor me in? I blinked. Riverdale and London are oceans apart. You're still coming? A nap on a plane and I'm here. I can afford the ticket. Or, am I not welcome? Too tired to argue. I shrugged. Suit yourself. Kept a spare key. Your veto is overruled. Throughout my PhD he randomly spawned in the loft. One day I asked, doesn't your family mind your chronic slacking? He raised an eyebrow. Got another guy on the side? You're insane. He hugged me, hand-locking my waist, and kissed me. Strays out there are second-hand goods. Stick with the devil you know. He pressed a kiss to my palm against his cheek. Pretty face, killer body, loaded wallet, choosing anyone else is a loss. Shameless. Near graduation I accepted a postdoc spot in California. Lucien was already scanning fares. Next time I'll snooze a whole day on the plane. Curious, I asked, if I settle in the States for good, will you fly forever? He pondered. Caldwell steady, no bankruptcy in sight. Even if my folks disown me, earning a Riverdale, LAX fare looks doable. Deep pockets, I commented. He laughed. At least my money lets me reach you wherever you are. Indeed, flush with cash Lucien hit Los Angeles even more than he'd hit London. A junior from my Caltech lab joked, your boyfriend's weekly US trips are a live hands off she's mine broadcast. Maybe. All I knew was he kept surfacing in my apartment. Shirt riding up to flash abs, agenda unclear. At 30, postdoc finished. I took my undergrad mentor's offer and came home to Riverdale to keep researching. Lucien was ecstatic. The month before departure he practically lived in L.A. Won't skipping work tank Caldwell? I asked. A few missed days won't crash the market, he shrugged. We landed on New Year's Day. In the back seat he kept rubbing my hand, oddly keyed up. What's wrong? He cleared his throat. Nothing. Instead of my place, the driver turned into a hotel ballroom he'd staged for a proposal. Roses, of course, spilled from the doorway inward. Flower walls carved the space into symmetric squares. Inside each square stood life-size crystal figurines dressed like us, reenacting our decade. Recordings hidden in their pockets replayed our real words from each moment. Even their expressions caught 6/10 of the truth. First meeting, first talk, chase, confession, love, graduations. Hand in hand, Lucien narrated every stage. A live symphony swelled with our steps, sketching a dream sweet past. When the final pair of statues finished their story, the rose walls shot upward. Every bloom shed its petals at once, raining down on the dancing crystal a Serena and a Lucien. Amid the storm of petals the 20 couples rotated like sweet waltzers. Lucien dropped to one knee on cue, flipping open a vintage ring box. At the same second hidden cameraman surged forward, ringing us. They tried to keep quiet, but the flashes were brighter than the diamond. I instinctively shielded my eyes. Lucien coughed lightly, drawing me back. He'd already said the warm-up words. Now he went straight to it. Serena, will you marry me? Shutterfire erupted, eager to trap every flicker on my face. The crowd's applause and shouts synced into a single drumbeat. Say yes. Say yes. My skull buzzed like a blown speaker. I was twitchy, furious. Over the years, Lucien and I had basically stopped saying the word breakup. When I first landed in London, I told myself the transatlantic commute would bore him sooner or later. later. When I moved to the States, I thought, this is where he finally stays put. I never managed to shake him, yet the daily overlap never once tricked me into picturing a future with him. Especially now, in this proposal he'd choreographed down to the confetti. I'm the star of the show, and still the outsider. Every witness is his friend. I don't know a soul except him. It doesn't feel like a proposal. It feels like a siege, and I'm the deer they're herding up the mountain. In the rising tide of cheers, I flashed back to the year I tiptoed to a VIP lounge to surprise him for his birthday and heard, through the cracked door, it's just a fling. Wrong material, no matter how you spin it, never knits into the right sweater. I look down at Lucien, still on one knee, and push the ring box away. For the first time I want to wound him. It was a fling. Why'd you go and get serious? Gasps, then uproar. I don't wait to admire his technicolor expression. I shoulder through the bodies and leave the place that makes my skin crawl. His mother and his buddies all cornered me afterward. Puzzled, offended, some both. Apparently a girl from a modest background ought to feel lottery-level lucky that Caldwell's golden heir picked her. I should beam, accept, and say thank you. His mother laid it out. Families like ours don't normally consider someone like you. Year after year he drops everything to chase you. We barely see a shadow of him. Kids his age are married with babies. We couldn't leash him, so we kept retreating. Fine, your clan can't boost his resume, but at least your genes can upgrade the grandkids. If you're worried about me and his father, relax. Once you're in, we won't haze you. After I started my job, I rented a loft near campus. The night I met his mother, Lucien showed up at my door at midnight. What did my mom say to you? I glanced at my watch, 12 on the dot. I was in no mood to unpack the drama. I had to teach at 8. Brush teeth. Splash face. Sleep. He came back the next night. And the night after that. And the night after that. Finally I snapped. Did Caldwell go bankrupt and cancel your work schedule? The ugliest sentences I've ever heard all came out of your mouth, he said, threading my fingers through his, guiding the key into the lock, pushing me inside. Oh, career change? From CEO to bandit? He clamped a hand over my mouth, afraid I'd fire off something worse. I tried to pry him off. He pressed harder, planning to smother me. He slid his palm down so I could breathe, but didn't let go. He drew a long breath and stared straight at me, sad, resigned. All these years, if I didn't reach out, you never would. Everyone thinks we're a done deal, but only I know how scared I am of losing you. I used to tell myself you were a kite. If the string stayed in my hand, I'd be fine. Then I realized you're not a kite, you're an eagle. No string on earth can hold you. It feels unfair. I love you this much and get nothing back. I tried to quit you, Serena. I swore I wouldn't call, wouldn't text, let you taste the panic for once. But I caved. Every reunion came from me crawling back. I was terrified that if I stopped chasing, we'd just snap. I was stupid. I obsessed over why you'd changed, never over what I'd done to change you. His eyes were bloodshot. He hugged me. Hot drops soaked my collar. Sorry. Sorry for what? I tried to push. He only tightened. You were outside the lounge that birthday night, weren't you? You heard every word. He was crying now. The confusion of a guy who woke up loved and came home to a locked door. I didn't mean it. When I chased you I hadn't mapped eternity, but I was never just playing. My neck felt like a wet towel. Serena. I was barely 20, immature, mouthing off, trying to sound cool. I'm sorry. I thought I'd read him cover to cover, that his niceties were 30% theater. Turns out the line that kept me up at night was improvised locker room crap. But so what? Even uncovered, it changed nothing. Now you know. Don't come back. His body locked. Joke or not, the words left your lips. You let your buddy insult me. Facts. Sorry doesn't rewind time. Lucien. He panicked. I cut that guy off the same night. Haven't spoken since. I'm not the saint you deserve, but I'm not the villain you remember. He even sounded wronged. Know what I felt when I heard that crap? I asked. Took me 60 seconds to decide I was done. I don't care what you meant. I trust what I heard. Your mouth wrote the check. I'm not obliged to cash it. We fought plenty. I never brought that night up because I wouldn't beg for scraps. I let you orbit because I was busy, not lovesick. It was cheaper than deleting you. If you hadn't proposed, we'd have kept limping until one of us got bored. Lucien, we're never getting the fairy tale ending. Let's close the book. June melted into summer, summer into fall semester, National Day into winter, New Year into spring again. Junior faculty life is a treadmill of grants and deadlines. Romance feels like a luxury hobby. Suddenly homecoming rolled around, mandatory social cardio. Rich alumni wrote checks, named scholarships, hugged strangers all day. Totally normal. Until Lucien donated 2 top-shelf instruments worth $5 million each to the department in his own name. My advisor asked, Serena, wasn't your ex called Lucien? Same guy? No idea. Common name. Could be anyone. He never showed, but the signature on the gift agreement was unmistakably his. I wasn't going to feed feed the gossip mill, so I lied with a straight face. After the marathon, I came home whistling. A tall silhouette blocked my door. Feeling generous about the lab equipment, I invited him in for tea. The door had barely clicked before I was wrapped in his familiar scent. I tried. Serena, 1 year without you? Can't do it. My world blanks out. His chin nestled against my neck. I'll take any version. No wedding. No labels. Just you. Are you clinically sane? Haven't had a drop. Let go. Won't. I have zero tactics for a shameless adult. Why me? Because I love you. Try someone else. Only you. No logic to it. Look. You're single. I'm single. Can't we go back? I'll be quiet as furniture. Promise. I decided to hit the jugular. Your mom told me she approves because, although my pedigree is garbage, my genetics can polish the family stock. His arms petrified. Keeping you means handing your parents ammo to humiliate me. Why should I volunteer for that? Tick. Tick, warm tears dotted my shoulder. You still haven't said you don't love me. I don't love you, I said, a sharp bite on my collarbone. Liar. Last thing I remember, he kissed the crown of my head and squeezed tighter. You haven't finished the experiment. You can't write me off yet. Can't play. Can't quit. Not quite lovers. Not just friends. I told him, in academia we don't leave data sets ambiguous. He showed up with his family register. Dad, mom, each other's first and only. No cheating. No scandal. Still sweet on each other. Older brother, sister-in-law, high school sweethearts. Married. 2 kids. Still solid. We don't do messy entanglements. Also, no heir requirement. Kids optional. If you want them, they take your last name. Shut up already. Then his mother again. Lucien said I was rude. I apologize. I shouldn't have talked down to you like I was doing you a favor. Marriage isn't a promotion. Being with him isn't climbing. We don't need grandkids. Marry. Don't marry. Reproduce. Don't reproduce. Your call. Your surname. She rattled it off in one breath, every syllable dictated by her son. I was mad. My own kid throwing me under the bus. But really, I'm lucky he didn't duck. He manned up, fresh from maternal parole. Lucien crept toward me, eyes asking the question. Humans don't need romance to survive. But who refuses a ceiling-painted fresco? If I can't lose him, I might as well monetize him. The lab is short one Titan G3i, 300 kV. He beamed. Done. My assistant will have it tomorrow. Price tag, anywhere from 30 to 100 million. Barely left his mouth before approval. Some internet saint once said, rich men want every woman to be materialistic. They're not scared you'll ask. They're scared you won't, or you will and they can't.